Hey y'all, welcome back to Tulsa. The topic of today's video is lost files. So it's just all of the things I meant to show you guys, and for whatever reason, it never made it to YouTube. Today we're gonna jump right into it, but I did want to touch on something really quickly. So see my little strawberry shortcake sweatshirt that I have on. I was in the store yesterday, saw a whole bunch of strawberry shortcake merch, thought it was really cute. My 80s nostalgia was triggered, but also a couple weeks ago, I found out that the lady who created strawberry shortcake is actually from Tulsa. It's something cute and cozy to wear around the house or whatever. So by the time I made it to the line, I was just debating with myself, like, do I really want this? Kind of childish. The woman who is directly behind me, she's like, that sweatshirt's cute. And then we ended up having a quick conversation. I know I'm always telling you guys that I'm just like randomly getting in conversations with people in Tulsa while I'm standing in line somewhere, but that is literally my life. I don't know why or how it happens that way, but this is just the case. So anyway, she's like, that sweatshirt is cute. I'm like, oh, okay, thanks. She's like, yeah, I've been seeing a ton of strawberry shortcake merch. I'm like, yeah, me too. I mentioned that I had just learned that the lady who created strawberry shortcake is from Tulsa. I didn't know that either. And she says, come to think of it, I was in the thrift store the other day and some lady had this like massive strawberry shortcake house. I wish I had found it first, I would have bought it kind of thing. And I didn't even make the connection at the time, but like if the creator is from Tulsa, like what if that was something prototype or something that she had made and then ended up donating to Goodwill or whatever? I mean, I doubt it, but let's see. Strawberry shortcake house. Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay, so we have $500, $1,000 or $2,000 if you have all of the pieces. One of them is going for $3,000. I mean, so maybe it's not a prototype, but maybe that person really found something. As I was preparing to do this video, I looked up the creator's name because I wanted to just shout her out. Someone who was such a huge part of my childhood or contributed so much to my childhood is actually from Tulsa. But when I Googled who is the creator of strawberry shortcake, my heart was broken because come to find out, and her name is Miss Muriel Farian. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. She does not receive any royalties. And you guys, she created strawberry shortcake, Care Bears. There's other characters mentioned. Just some evil corporations getting her money. I mean, I'm sure she's not hurting for it, wanting for anything, but dang, if there's a petition or something, let's all sign it and let's get her royalties. That sucks. But capitalism, what are we gonna do, right? Second thing I wanted to touch on, and we're jumping into this video, I promise you. Someone recently, it hasn't been that recent, it's like 4 to 6 months ago, she wrote me out a list and was so kind to do this, and I haven't been to any of these places yet. Let me grab the list. I stuck it up in my kitchen so I wouldn't forget about it, and then it just began to blend in with the scenery, and I haven't touched it since. Hold on. Okay, so looking at this now, I actually have tried a couple of these, like Cicero's, 3 Tequilas is on here. I've been there. Oh, Mr. Kim's. I've heard about this is like multiple times. I haven't been there yet. La Roma, Savoy, Pub W, Red Rock, the White River Fish Market. Opa House has a star on it. And I can't even remember the conversation at the time, like, cause someone else had joined in and said, oh yeah, like I think Opa House was the one that it was just like so awesome. I was like, oh my God, I have to go there. My mouth started watering. And I haven't gone yet. This is a shame. This is the thing I always talk about. Like, I feel like people from Tulsa have been so kind and accommodating and things like that. Like, it's very easy for anyone. I feel like moving here, people just don't gatekeep, and they're usually pretty like friendly and nice and stuff like that. Like, just way more down to earth and friendly in Tulsa. I would say 95% of people are just quietly minding their business, and then 5% are cool AF. All right, Tulsa is closed. Traffic is horrible. It has been really, really bad. I don't know what's going on, but I think it's about time to close Tulsa. And stand! And then I got a Tulsa World, a notification from Tulsa World. Population growth has slowed in Tulsa for the first time since the pandemic. I guess that's cool. There's definitely enough California people here now to, at the point when I'm ready, buy my house for way more than they should be paying. I'm kidding, y'all, I'm kidding. All right, so let's go back into time. And I don't know what that noise is. I've been trying to figure this out forever. What the heck is that sound?
Not me about to casually ghost this perfectly nice guy I was seeing and disappear to Oklahoma.
There was a big hurricane in Houston. I was without power. I was just like walking around my old neighborhood here. Yeah, there was no power for like a week and a half. I think some folks still didn't have power even after I had left. So just packing up and moving was hell. I think I've talked about this before, but it's always something to go back and look. And I remember like my loctician, my hairstylist, she had gotten power back at her shop, but not at the place where she was living. So she was actually like camping out in her shop with her son. But I just coming here and I was so uncertain about, will I find anyone to do my hair? Will, you know, beauty services and stuff like that. So I just got everything done. Eyebrows, hair. I got a massage because I had been so stressed out from just being in the dark and the heat with no power, and also packing and trying to get out of my Houston apartment in time and things like that, and also not knowing when I would find a person or a place to get that done. And then I left and I went to Dallas. I stayed in Dallas, hit the road, man, and made my way to Tulsa. This is me leaving the Airbnb I had gotten in Dallas, and there was a detour like right as I crossed over from Texas to Oklahoma. Now mind you, I had all of my Texas friends were saying, oh my God, Oklahoma is so country. It's so horrible. You're going to hate it there. You'll be running back with your tail between your legs. And then I ended up having to ride through this dirt road on my way there. But there was something was going on the highway or whatever. And I remember people saying, you're going to know when you cross from Texas into Oklahoma.
Oh man, swerve them potholes.
Because the road changes, like it's all pitted and potholed and stuff as soon as you reach Oklahoma. And it truly happened. And I remember just being like laughing, like, oh my God, okay, the internet is telling the truth. And then I was like torn, like, okay, what else are they telling the truth about this place? Because I had gotten a lot of negative information, some positive. And then first night in my apartment in the Enclave at Brookside, one of my friends has said, new apartment, you have to eat pizza. Like it's a rule or something. You sit on the floor or you sit on your mattress on the floor and eat pizza. And that's exactly what I did. A frozen pizza on the box because I don't feel like well, I think the dishes, like my actual plates and stuff, are on the pod. And what dishes I did bring, I just didn't. I looked at it and I was like, yeah, I'm not unpacking that. And Munch is playing in the blinds. And this is my empty bedroom. Oh yeah, and I got a inflatable bed too. So, yep. And my modem is starting up. We're here. We're here. It's going. It's all going. So that was just my little check-in. A few days later, my pods arrived. So several people have asked me in comments, how did I manage the moving to Tulsa? How did I afford it all? Because it's very expensive, especially people who are moving across the country. I can't even imagine with inflation and everything. Like I was shocked at the cost of just moving from Houston to Tulsa. Okay, so it cost me about $1,500 to transport everything I did not sell, donate, or throw away. And then of course I drove my personal vehicle up, so I did not have any vehicle shipping fees. Threw my cat in the car with me, so I did not have any pet transportation fees. I think all in I maybe spent like $1,600, maybe $1,700 max. I also took advantage of a new rewards credit card I had just gotten, so I had like a 0% interest rate. I was charging everything for my move as well as the moving costs with my new apartment to that card, which enabled me to hit the threshold they had, higher category of reward or bonus or whatever. So I felt that was another way of doing this program, was like paying off for me or paying me back in some way. And then of course, as soon as that first Tulsa Remote deposit hit my account for my reimbursement for moving expenses, I paid off that credit card.
That is very responsible and mature.
I did use U-Haul pods. I did pack up all of my own stuff, and then a team of guys came. These guys were truly amazing. Now, mind you, it was over 100 degrees. The power was out. So they were moving all my stuff down this pitch black hallway, just using extremely bright flashlights to light the way. And of course, they got better once you got closer to the exit. But yeah, it was rough. Loaded the pods, and then they were shipped to Tulsa, which took a couple days. So I arrived in Tulsa before my pods did, and then another was supposed to be a team of guys, but all of them didn't show up. But that's another story for another day. Came and unpacked my pods in Tulsa, and so this is, you know, when the pods arrived, and I'll never forget this either, because I was just feeling the uncertainty and everything of having moved here. And I asked the movers, what are some things that I can do? What are places to go? Where do the Black people hang out here and stuff like that? And they're like, there's nothing to do here. It sucks. You need to go to OKC. And I was just like, exhale, right? It's the big sigh, like, what have I done? Like, they just talk so bad and drag Tulsa so much, and they said they don't go out here and they only go out in OKC, and they can't believe that I moved here from Houston. It was like I was just getting so much of this negative feedback from so many people, and it was definitely like people were just in shock and horror at the idea that someone would come from Houston to Tulsa to live. Contrasting that to when I arrived in Houston, someone I had known for quite a while who was living in Houston at the time came by to help me unpack the stuff that I had bought over in my personal vehicle. I asked about what are the things to do, where are the places to go, and they're like, oh, well, this is what you can do. Tuesday you can go here, here, and here. Wednesday is here and here. Thursday here, there, and there.
There's just so many options.
Like, you're giving me 6 different places to go on Saturday, 7 options for Sunday, 2 or 3 for almost every day throughout the week. Yeah, so it was a lot. It was a lot. So the apartment that I had in Brookside, I only lived there for, I think, three and a half, maybe 4 months, because I came in with the goal of like buying a house here. Not a house to live in though. I wanted it to be a rental property. I think that's possibly another video subject for another day, like my whole home buying journey. So I did not really unpack that apartment.
What a day, what a day. What you say, Mike? What you say, boy? Don't you scratch that. Ah! Stop!
When I first got here and I was like, I'll have to unpack all this stuff, I said somewhere on the earth, not Texas, because I didn't want anyone to know. And like my family, some people were freaked out. Like my mom knew, but I didn't tell my dad. He was like, what the hell? Like when he's like, why wouldn't you tell me you're in Oklahoma? And I was like, because you know. Anyway.
I just didn't want you to worry.
I can't remember. No, I did set up my bed eventually. I think, yeah, because this was just July 19th. So that was probably, and that's the same night that the pods came. July 23rd, though, I ended up going on my first date. I thought that was remarkable because I had seen so many things online about how hard it was to date in Tulsa. Now, come to find out, like getting to meet someone and go on the date is not really the issue in Tulsa. I find it's like finding people who are compatible. The differences of just being an extremely liberal person and a non-religious person and things of that nature just doesn't always mesh with the people that I've met in Oklahoma. That's probably another video for another day. So pop down in the comments if you would love to hear my dating misadventures in Tulsa. My dating adventures and misadventures. I've had some good experiences, positive experiences though. July 24th was my Tulsa Remote Orientation. Yeah, just getting used to life here, you know. Still, I think at this point, I didn't know what was going on. So July 24th really was like my first opportunity to kind of connect with other people who were in the program. I hadn't gone to 36 degrees at that point or anything. I was just getting my bearings for sure. This is my cat giving me a massage. I think he knew I was stressed out, man. He's trying to help me out. Sitting out on my porch in Brookside, I did that a lot. Not my porch, but my patio or balcony, and watching the people go by. I say here, remembering directly across the street there was like affordable housing apartments for seniors. Several of them had "We Love Trump" stuff all over their door. But then directly across the street from that, you get into the middle class homes and the upper middle class homes, and those people have "F Trump, we're Democrat" and so on. And then you had like the gated communities or gated homes that typically did not have anything, anything either way. So it's really a mixed bag over there in Brookside. August 13th, there was that first couple weeks of like uncertainty, what is going on? And then I just kind of like hit the ground, not even running, but kind of limping, right? I would meet people if they were friendly, exchange numbers, try to get more information. And it seemed like things kind of shifted to where, not even shifted, I was like meeting people in the city. Like I had gone to orientation. I think I got like a few people's phone numbers and stuff like that. They're like, oh, well, we could meet up and we could work at the co-working space, but I wasn't really ready to do that yet and those kind of things. But then I began gradually meeting people from Tulsa. And then I just remember this one person, because I screenshotted it, right? So if there was like any text, or I started doing all of these notes in my phone, names of places and things, and I just was like writing down, all these lists all the time, like check this out, avoid this, do that, taking any and all the advice that I could find, learning about My Tea Lounge, the Black Wall Street Liquid Lounge, and things like that. It's so funny looking at this now because these things are like second nature. I'm now the person giving advice to people who are new to Tulsa, and they say, but where can I find an open mic? My Tea Lounge. Okay, then this is where I started getting into, I shouldn't show this one, I was busted. Oh, man. I always wait until everyone leaves to try to go down the steps because I can't. Yes. Oh my God. Okay, I think I was calling my friend or sending a video message leaving the gym. Bro, this is crazy. Like I just screamed trying to get in the car because my abs. I don't know if I could shut the door. Oh, I got it. So shoot. End workout. Those couple extra minutes I'm gonna take them because walking to the car, I'm out of breath and I'm hurt. What the hell? Oh my God. Okay, it's not that bad. Okay, let me get myself together, man. It's not that serious. OMG. I was hurt. So Tulsa Remote gives a benefit for health and wellness. I started trying out different gyms. Just left bar. I know it looked rough. That class kicked my butt. It was so good though. August 24th, I went to the Black Wall Street tour. Good morning. I recorded a lot of video there, and I got the tour guide's permission to record and also to post on YouTube if I wanted. But honestly, y'all, it was really sad and emotional and a lot to take in. And I never posted that video. But I also feel like that's an experience that you have to go and experience for yourself. But at the same time, I know that everyone can't make it there, but then I also didn't feel like I could really do it justice. All I can say is if you can make it there. There are documentaries about the Black Wall Street massacre as well. I know I watched a couple of them before moving here, but the knowledge and the experience that you get at the museum and doing the tour, it just made me see everything in just a whole other light. Thank you so much for tuning into this behind the scenes peek at my first months in Tulsa. But don't worry, we are far from finished. I have so much more to show you. So stay tuned for episodes 2, 3, possibly 4 of my lost files, my life in Tulsa. Be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. Also, thank you to the folks who have been hyping my videos. I had no idea what that was, and then someone told me